Okay guys, so today we are going to discuss about the organizational and physical security. Physical security is very important because until you don't have the physical security of your organization, so there is a possibility anyone can steal your server, hard disk, RAM or other devices. Is it possible? Of course, it is possible. So today we are going what are the method we can use in a physical security. Before the physical security, first we will discuss about the organizational documentation and policies. Documentation and policy is very important inside the organization because when you are creating a infrastructure of the organization, so first you need to be create a documentation. Either you can create a diagram before implementation. So in this session we will discuss how you can create a documentation diagram before implementation of the network infrastructure inside the organization. So first we are going to discuss about the operating plans and procedure inside the organization where you can create a documentation over the operating plans and the procedures. Procedures may be the configuration, management or identifying the installed devices inside the organization. So all it's called the configuration management. So configuration management, both things will be considered in this here. First is a installing devices, how much devices are installed. Installed means how many devices are established inside the organization and what are the configuration of those devices. For the example, there is a one switch and switch have the 10 VLAN. So VLAN 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So related configuration must be stored inside the documentation. So later on you can check their configuration, whatever the previous configuration was that. Okay, so what are the things can we consider? One is a service assets. Another is a configuration items. Another is a baseline documentation and configuration management system. So service asset is a first point where all the things, procedure or the peoples which is contribute to delivery of the IT services. Means anything, asset means anything which is the valuable for the organization. So write down all the assets including process, including people, including other things, physically or the non-physical. So these called the service assets. Another is a configuration items, which are the items required a configuration or the specific management procedure used to deliver the services. Whatever the services are going to be delivered to your customer or the client, so how to configure those items. Items means anything, any assets. And also one more thing is a baseline. Baseline actually the minimum requirement of any organization, minimum requirement, minimum configuration, required configuration for any device, maybe switch, maybe other devices, the minimum required configuration, it is called baseline. So it is necessary to provide a documentation of the baseline so the engineer or the technician will understand properly what will be the baseline of any particular device. This baseline actually approved and authorized the state of the CI. CI is configuration item. Means first a baseline configuration baseline. After that you can do some other configuration depend on your requirement. So the configuration management system is a tools or the database that is collect, store, manage, update and present the information about the CIs. Means how many configuration items are there. So all the information related to the CI means collecting information, your configuration items, collect, store, manage, update time to time and present the information about the CIS. Some things if is required to change the management. Change the management means there is a possibilities you need to change. Change maybe the related the hardware can be changed, or maybe the software, because time to time the software and the hardware going to be damaged or going to be old, or the legacy system or not more updation is available. So in this case you need to change. So you just not a change without any permission. If you have the single computer, then there is a no problem. You have a single computer at your home. So if you want to make any type of the update, if you want to any software, installing the new software, or you want to update the software, so there is a no problem, because it is a single computer you are holding. But when we talk about the organization, there is a possibilities you will have to change management, because for the example, sometime you getting the message from your bank that the system updation scheduled this time to this time, so all the transaction will be stopped and you cannot do the transaction. So it is called change management. If any type of the changes happened, so it is called change management required. So there is a two types of, one is a reactive and the proactive. So reactive means unplanned change, unplanned or unexpected change. For the example, if there is any incident happened, so any incident happened, so you need to do changes very quickly. You need to change instantly whatever change you want. For the example, corona virus, when all the organizations was impacted by the coronavirus, so no lockdown was there and nobody can go to the office to do the work. So there is a unplanned incident, unexpected. So lots of the companies are started to work from home and other organizations are doing some other type of the work. So it was a unplanned. Similarly, if your building caught fire or any type of the cyber attack happened, so all these incidents will be considered as a reactive change. Another is a proactive changes. In a proactive changes, you have a plan to make a changes inside the organization, like you want to update your software, so you know when to update the software. Whatever the change you want to do, you need to be change approval. Means if you want to update, if you want to install the software, if you want to buy new hardware, so it is first requirement must be got the approval from the higher department or the higher authority. So you need to provide the request and wait for the approval. Once the approval will be done, then you will go to make the change management inside the proactive. Another called is a standard operating procedures. Standard operating procedures is a activity of all the network personnel, whether it will be installed at a new device or troubleshooting is recorded in a job logs. Job logs means whatever the process is happened, so it is necessary to record all the process. Process means here to changing the configuration. Like if you have made some changes inside the router, so you need to write down here. write down somewhere. It is the part of the documentation where you need to write down the job logs. Another is a standard operating procedure is a sets out of the principal goal consideration like budget, their security, customer contact standard, and performing the task to identify the lines of the responsibility and authorization for performing it. Any type of the change need to be performed, so it is will be in a specific process. Along with the change, there is a some other things required like audit report, assessment report, and the system life cycle. So what is the audit report? Audit report means auditing, checking the system and checking the implementation, checking the configuration, checking the installed devices. So you will find out if any type of the rogue devices is connected, so you can easily detect. So audit report is a identify and record assets. What is the asset? Asset means any type of the valuable things inside the organization like chair, table, computer, hardware, network devices, cable, connector, everything is a asset. And also there is a asset like software. You have buy a license of the Microsoft Windows operating system, so it is a valuable information, valuable. And customer data. So there is a assets, maybe the tangible or intangible. Tangible means the physical existence and intangible means physical not exist, like software and intangible. Okay. So intangible and the tangible, two types of the software, two types of the assets are available. So it is in a auditing, you need to identify all the assets are available. Check for this means do the auditing and identify all the assets and record them, write down them, and also match them with the previous. Another is a assessment process, assessment evaluation. Evaluation of the configuration, evaluation of the performance. Whatever the configuration you have done sometime before, you need to evaluate those configuration and the performance and compare to the baseline. Baseline means like inside the organization you will install the Linux Ubuntu operating system on all the devices, but later on you find there is a two devices which running Windows operating system, so it is not meeting with the baseline. So how will you find out? By doing the assessment or doing the audit report. Now the system life cycle means any system which having a specific life, like acquisition, starting, deployment, they are deploying any device configuration and use them, and later on the decommissioning. So what is the meaning of means decomposing or finishing, deleting, whatever. Okay, so it is called system life cycle.